Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, I'm back. So I know it's been a while, but that's because I've been working on quite a lot of stuff, and for the past week I've had academics, like finals and testing, but now I'm back, and now I'm grinding back on making stuff. Uh, let's first talk about map design. If you can see over here, I added actually new things within the area, and actually the generation is no longer automated. I actually have to manually paint every single tree here and separate them out so that it looks better than what was auto-generated, because I want collision within my items in the game, and I could not do that with the landscape, with the grass type item that I was using earlier. So all of these have collision attached to them, and there's just these little things that give more life to the area, make it not as boring to walk through. But I'm hopefully going to add even more to it, so should be all good. Let me go ahead and yeah, and so all these have collision, right? So everything here that's blue or purple can actually not be is like a collision detector and will not let the player pass through it. So if I go ahead and play right now, you can see over here that there's no way for me to actually physically move through this, jump over this. There's no way I can go through this, jump over this. It adds more realism, because before you could actually walk through these, and that was not good at all. Same thing for the trees. The trees did not have any sort of collision before. You could just walk through them, but now you can't. Now you can't walk through them. Now they're much more realistic, which is definitely super good. Uh, that's what we have for, at least for the map. And I know I just said that in 1 minute, but it took me quite a while to just design everything and make it look nice. And also for inventories. So I know what you guys are thinking of. You guys are looking at this, like, oh, what are these? These are just test items that I'm using in order to see if the inventory even works. So in order to pick up anything, you press E in your inventory, and it's actually a lot more different than how I did it before in previous videos. It's actually so much stuff. It requires like multiple different structures in order to save what item it is and then use that. And it has an inventory component, an interface. There's so much that goes into it. There's widgets for it. I haven't finished it completely, but I'm I'm getting close. I'm definitely getting there. Yeah, so whenever I interact with an object, on the top left of the screen, you're gonna see this little like text. It's gonna be blue, and that blue text tells me what the item is and like what the component of the item is that I'm touching, right? So when I go over here, it tells me that I picked up the gun, and I'm touching the lower part of the gun's like component. And that's just better for me as a developer, for me to be able to see what's going on, what's being interacted with, how can I fix it, how can I make stuff work specifically. Alright, so I do have items in my inventory. Ignore these 1, 2, 3. I'm going to fix that later. That's supposed to be for keybinds. But basically, you can actually select your item in your inventory. It gets highlighted here, and then you can actually hold it out and do whatever you'd like with it. It also has a little animation of being held up. And I made it so that it's like almost foolproof. You can't interrupt the animation. You can't like glitch it out. And there's a lot of things that go into the items. There's a name, there's a description, there's a durability status, there's a specific amount of weight that it has. There's a lot of stuff. And so I actually have a feature where certain items are stackable. So like you see here, I have 2 boxes, quote unquote, right? And the boxes aren't going to actually be an item, they're just for playtesting, but the gun definitely is. And so this is only stackable by 2. So if I pick up another one, it's actually going on another slot, which I think is super interesting. You can actually set how many you can hold, which would be useful for like ammo, for items, all that kind of stuff. And I've actually figured out how to make weapons do stuff specifically based on what they're for. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold out this gun. I'm gonna click, and it goes ahead and tells me like gun success on the left side of the screen. That's because it's going ahead and letting me know that I can actually shoot for later on in the future. But I can't do the same thing with this because I haven't coded anything for this specific item. And there's so much that goes into it, even though it looks like something small. I did perform so much just to make sure that the mouse doesn't go past this, that your character feels natural when you're doing this, that the picking up the item feels natural. I had to calculate where like the player's hand position is, and then move it downwards, and then go back upwards from that. Here, I'll go ahead and show you. Yeah, there's been a lot added, right here. No, not that. Yeah. So here's the interaction. It goes ahead, and if it's not a door or anything, if it's not a fence, it goes ahead and plays the interact function. And yeah, every item can react to me picking it up or using it, and that's super useful. And the animation I did is based on a timeline that's specifically for this little spot right here, which is like the hand location. I'm thinking about adding like hand movements and stuff and making it so that it looks realistic, more realistic, but that's definitely more for the future than for now because I'm not good with animations. I want to first at least finish this, how this inventory works in the first place, and then go ahead and do that. I was wondering about organization because as soon as I fix this inventory, a lot of stuff can actually be added and done. But the thing is, there's no way to currently organize the inventory. You can just select on stuff. And you can see that the game doesn't pause when you do that. And that's on purpose because it's essentially like real life where you'll go ahead and you open your like pockets or whatever to search for what you're looking for. And so I have to figure out some way to organize it. So like if you press 1, 2, 3, you can actually like get like the top selected bar up here and be able to organize it or drag it around, which will definitely take a lot of time. But I'm hoping to go through it, and I'm willing to do it. I also added post-processing, so things look a little bit better. This doesn't look as glitchy as before. There's less motion blur, so that's definitely super good too. And just for you guys to see how much went into this, I'll go ahead, I'll open the inventory component. There's this. There's the event graph, preparing the inventory, adding to the inventory, creating a stack, having a partial stack, adding to a stack, highlighting an object in your hand, or highlighting the object in your inventory, and then putting the item in your hand physically, and then toggling your inventory as well. But I luckily found a really good tutorial guide, and then I just kind of make the base from there and then build off to it. So these two over here, and then I added like definitely a few more things so that it works specifically with how I want to interact with objects. And I think it looks good because this is what the player's view will be like. It's dependent on the player's view, but because in here you can see that my view is a big rectangle, but normally your game's not going to be like that, so it's not going to be as strange looking. See how this gun feels a little more strange looking? Yeah, that's why. But yeah, I definitely like the progress that it's gotten to. It's going to take a lot more work, but it's really getting somewhere, and I'm really liking how it's looking. So that should be it for now. I know didn't seem like a lot, but this has taken me like probably weeks to do because it took a lot of time for learning and then adjusting the academic schedule. But now, because of the summer, I should have a lot more free time to work on this. Alright, that's really it for now. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.